We got another crazy one too, man. I just try to bring awareness, man. That's all. I try to cover everything. Anything that you think might not have happened, it didn't happen. You know what I'm saying? I try to cover it. In this case, we got a guy who's supposed to be a security guard of this young woman's building, and he ended up killing her. You know what I'm saying? So we're gonna get into the details and figure out how this shit happened. Why did it happen? And then we're gonna react to it in the end, you know what I'm saying? And then we're gonna react to it, going through it too. You already know how we do it. So let's go ahead and get up into it, man.
The suspicious death of a 27-year-old Orlando woman. Sasha Samsudean's body was found Saturday night inside of her apartment at Uptown Place on North Orange Avenue. Right now, police are not releasing many details, but friends and neighbors say they were stunned to hear about it.
Typical girl, just nice, fun-loving girl. She wasn't too boastful, too loud. Just a nice, quiet type. So she seemed to get along with everybody.
I guess kind of nervous because we don't really know, how she was killed or if we should be concerned that there's someone dangerous living in our building.
That's the crazy part. Whole time they don't even know it's their security guard who did it. The person who's supposed to be protecting them from outside dangers, but he the inside danger. Yeah, the person that's supposed to be protecting you from the outside dangers, he can't protect you from himself, though.
Sasha with 407 Apartments TV. I'm here at the Edge Orlando Apartments near UCF. So let's go check out what they have to offer.
27-year-old Sasha Samsudean was a social media manager for an Orlando real estate agency. She was full of energy, fun, sociable, and
she was a TV host and everything.
Very smart. Her co-workers said that people often underestimated her and saw her as just a pretty face, but she was so much more than that.
About the Edge Apartments in Orlando, check us out at 407apartments.com.
People that worked with her said she was amazing at her job and adored being part of that environment. Friends said she worked hard and played hard, making the most of every day and every opportunity that came her way. She had recently moved into a beautiful new home at Uptown Place Apartments, 911 North Orange Avenue, and was
That's the crazy part. Her address was 911.
excited to start a new phase in her life.
Friday, October 16th, 2015.
It was the last day of the Orlando soccer season, and Sasha was out in purple to support her team. When they won, she and her friends headed out to celebrate with drinks and dancing at the Attic nightclub on 68 East Pine Street. At around midnight, Sasha decided it was time to leave Attic. She told one of her friends, Anthony, that she was heading off. Anthony said as friends, they would all frequently separate and meet back up later at another bar or club. So with this, everyone carried on enjoying their evening and went their separate ways.
See, man, if you got a female friend that's going home alone, nowadays, man, make sure she get home alone, man. And don't just make sure she get home alone because you want to fuck her. No, make sure she get home alone because a lot of dangerous shit going on, and she a female that you might care about. You know what I'm saying? Not just you care about her because you want to fuck her, but you care about her getting home safe, you know what I'm saying? So if you hanging out with females and you ain't going home with them, make sure they get home safe, man.
She and Anthony had made plans to meet up for breakfast the next morning, but he ordered and ate alone. Sasha didn't show up and wasn't replying to Anthony's texts. He assumed that she was simply hungover and sleeping it off. But hours passed and with still nothing from Sasha, Anthony became concerned. Sasha was always active on her phone and social media, and something just wasn't sitting right with him. He reached out to two of the friends, and they both agreed to go with him to Sasha's apartment. When they pulled into the parking lot, they spotted Sasha's car. In the back seat was a gift that she was supposed to be taking to a baby shower that day. They banged on apartment 345, but got no response. Anthony phoned 911.
Hi, need to fill out this report. We went to her apartment to go check. She's there, and she's on here. And what is her first name? Her first name is Sasha.
Police and the building's security entered her third-floor apartment at 8 p.m. that night to do a welfare check. The apartment was still locked, and there were no signs of a forced entry. Everything was silent, and nothing in the kitchen or lounge area appeared to be disturbed. But in Sasha's bedroom, officers saw some hair coming out from under the duvet and a hand hanging off the edge of the bed. They had found Sasha Samsudean. She had been raped and strangled to death. She had strangle marks around her neck, and she had been beaten too. She had defensive wounds to her arms and abrasions that were consistent with someone restraining her. Her necklace had been snatched off, and it was caught in her hair. Her shirt and bra had been ripped open, and her underwear had been forcibly removed, which had left abrasions on her body. Friends, family, and co-workers had absolutely no idea who would have ever wanted to hurt Sasha, and no one could offer up any names of potential suspects to the police. Sasha's purse, phone, and key fob to the building were all missing, and the bedroom smelled strongly of cleaning products. There were some discoloured patches on the bedsheets that looked as if they had been caused by bleach. The cupboard where Sasha kept all of her cleaning supplies had the doors wide open.
Man, think about this for a second, man. Think about, you know what I'm saying? I'm big on putting myself in other people's shoes, you know what I'm saying? Just think about, you know what I'm saying, you know what I'm saying, you're a young woman, you coming home late, you know what I'm saying, you make it to your apartment. Now you feel like you safe. You done made it to your apartment, the security guy there, so now you feel like you good. I'm in my crib, I'm in my apartment, security guy here, he gonna make sure I'm safe. I ain't got nothing to worry about. I'm good. Coast, you know what I'm saying? I made it home. But it's like, whole time, it's like, that ain't even the case, man. You in even more danger than you was when you was outside away from home. That's the sad part, man. You thought you was so safe and comfortable and good. That just wasn't the case at all, man. And that's the sad thing, man. Like, if you a young female and you out here by yourself and you got a security guard, of course you're gonna feel safe with that security guard because that's his job, to make everybody feel safe in the building. But for this person to be the person to take you out in this type of manner, in this type of way, it's like, how can you trust anybody, law enforcement, anybody? We go over these cases and we go over examples of law enforcement and everybody in the highest positions of doing shit that's not right. So it's like, where do we go? Who do we trust?
Open. Police noted that the toilet seat had been left up, something which didn't seem impossible, but definitely unusual, seeing as Sasha lived alone. After this, they found a condom wrapper near the bed and the imprint of a shoe. After swabbing the underneath of the toilet seat, they found 2 fingerprints. They also swabbed Sasha's body for any DNA. While performing the autopsy, the medical examiner said he had never seen an internal neck fracture as severe as Sasha's.
She was a graduate of Seminole High School in Sanford. Police are asking anyone who was in the area of North Orange Avenue and Mark Street early Saturday morning to please call them.
The last time friends saw Sasha was Friday night. She returned home here to her Uptown Place apartments just before 2 a.m. where she was in the hallway caught by a security camera.
It's very sad, and and our biggest thing is we really do want to solve this, and I hope that anyone that sees this picture and that...
I don't really understand why police say things like that. We really do want to solve this. Like, shouldn't y'all want to solve every case that come across y'all desk? Why is it certain cases that y'all feel more, inclined to solve faster? Why is that the case? Because any case that you don't solve, that you feel like, oh, we ain't gotta solve that, even if it's a gang killing, and y'all feel like, oh, this is just gang violence, y'all still allowing killers to roam the streets. Y'all supposed to be protecting and serving. If you feel like I don't gotta solve that one, this is more important than that one. How is you protecting and serving the community? Or which community do you really want to protect and serve? You know what I'm saying? That's what it comes down to too. What community do you really want to protect and serve? You know what I'm saying? For real.
And recognize her that night, just to please give us a call.
As well as the 15 cameras from around the building, Uptown Place had on-site security. Stephen Duxbury had been a security guard there for about 5 months, and he had seen Sasha coming home that morning. He told police he didn't actually let her in, as she had no ID and no keys to the building. She got in through another resident that opened the door for her. Stephen then went looking for her in the building, and when he finally found her, she was trying and failing to input the code to get into her apartment. Sasha asked him if he could walk her to her car to see if her keys were in there. But as the pair got outside, she said she suddenly remembered the code and ran back in.
We went out and we didn't even go to any car because maybe 5 steps out. She's like, wait, I think I remember the code now.
I'm guessing this is him talking during his interview. We're gonna go to his interview too and see what that's about, you know what I'm saying? Even though we're gonna go to his interview because that's what this channel is, you know what I'm saying? But he's a very fucked up individual, you know what I'm saying? I just want to see how he gonna, cause he's on camera with her, you know what I'm saying? So how is he gonna try to talk his way out of that shit? You know what I'm saying? And I also want to see if they get a confession out of him.
But then bring her back to the thing. She starts trying to punch in codes again. It's still not working. At this point, I'm like, I gotta keep doing my job. So I'm gonna go to another suite. And if I come back and you're still not in your apartment, we're gonna have to figure out how to deal with the situation.
He say, I gotta go back doing my job. If you ain't found out how to get in your apartment, by the time I get back, we're gonna have to figure this out another way. Hold on, Steven, Stefan, whatever your name is. Your job right now is to help this lady right now who's kind of, intoxicated. Your job right now is to make sure she get in her crib safe. That's your job right now. Ain't nothing more important than that job right there. Cause it's two of y'all on post security, right? It's probably two of y'all. If it ain't two of y'all, then if it's just you, I can maybe understand that. You know what I'm saying? How you can say, okay, I gotta go do some rounds. I'll double back on you. You know what I'm saying? If you ain't in there yet, we'll figure it out. You know what I'm saying? But if it's another security guard on post, your job right now is to make sure that young lady get into her apartment safe and sound. You know what I'm saying? Because you the security guard. Your job is to make sure everything's secure and safe. So your job is to make sure she's secured and safe in her house. You know what I'm saying? Make sure she get in safe, doors locked. Then you go about your business. You know what I'm saying? Because you don't want nothing to happen. Well, when you walk off and you know and she's sitting there intoxicated trying to get in her crib. You know what I'm saying? You don't want nothing to happen. So you stay there and make sure she get in safely. You know what I'm saying?
But later on, Stephen said he saw Sasha in the building again. This time, she was with a man he hadn't seen around before.
I think I saw her again at some point later on. It didn't really document it because I wasn't sure and there was nothing suspicious.
He said, I think I saw her again at some point in the evening. I didn't really document it because I wasn't sure if there was nothing suspicious. If there was nothing suspicious. So you telling me you seen her drunk, she trying to get in her crib. You tried to assist her getting in. That didn't work. You went back to doing what you was doing. You seen her with another man, and you ain't think none was suspicious about that. And you just seen her trying to get in her crib, and you see another man walking her. You don't think nothing suspicious about that? Nah, you supposed to went and check that out. Hey, what's going on? You know him, ma'am? Do you? What's her name, sir? What's her apartment number? You going? Where y'all going? You gonna go? Come on, we gonna all go. You know what I'm saying? We finna all go. You know what I'm saying? Then I'm gonna need you to leave, sir, because she's intoxicated, and I never seen you before, so I'm gonna have to ask you to leave the premises. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna have. Matter of fact, you ain't even gotta go upstairs with us, but yeah, you gotta leave. You know what I'm saying? You gotta go. I don't know you. I don't know if she's know you. She's intoxicated. I can't, I can't risk anything happening, sir. I'm sorry, but you gotta go for the night. You know what I'm saying? You gotta leave the premises for the night. Right now, you're trespassing. You know what I'm saying? I would hate to have to call the police. You know what I'm saying? But you gotta go, and that's just it, bro. Yeah, that's suspicious to me. You know what I'm saying? You just see her trying to get in her crib, and she couldn't get in, and now she walking around the building with some random guy you ain't never seen before. Yeah, that's suspicious, bro. That's suspicious.
Suspicious about when she and John Max Bar with her when they're just walking in the hallway.
Police needed to find out who this mystery man was, and fast. Looking at Sasha's movements from that night from the attic nightclub where she left her friends, it was around a half-an-hour walk away to get to her apartment building.
Damn.
Although it was a very busy night in town,
She walked a half an hour to get to her crib by herself? Damn, bro. Why? Why would you do that? Damn. Damn. You intoxicated walking a half an hour to the crib? Ladies, that's not smart. That's not smart. Don't do that. When you watch this channel, don't do that. I'm telling you, don't. Uber. Sometimes Uber ain't even safe. Call your mama. If you can't call your mama, call somebody that love you. Cause whoever love you gonna come make sure you get home safe for real. Yeah, whoever really love you gonna make sure you get home safe. You know what I'm saying? For real. You know who love you too. And if they can't come get, they gonna make sure they gonna do whatever they can possibly to make sure you get home safe. You know what I'm saying? Whoever love you. So call whoever love you. For real.
Police managed to spot her on several cameras. She was wearing white jeans and a purple top and stood out quite clearly.
She walking in the middle of the night, man.
Another camera from down the street showed her again. This time, she was walking with two people.
That's crazy.
Police used this footage to issue a press release, hoping whoever was with her would come forward. And to their relief, they did. Two women said they had seen Sasha downtown that night and could tell she was intoxicated. Sasha had no ID on her and no phone. The women said they were concerned for her safety and decided to get an Uber with her and drop her home. As soon as the Uber stopped at some traffic lights, Sasha darted out, pointing to Uptown Place, saying that was where she lived. The women waited as she tried to enter the building, but because she didn't have her key fob, she was unsuccessful. Before long, security guard Stephen approached the three.
Damn, come on, like, you gotta be more like, you gotta be like, I guess I would say like, not saying like organized or whatever, but like, where your phone and your keys at? Like, nah, but we ain't put no blame on no victims here. You know what I'm saying? We ain't gonna do that. You know what I'm saying? Cause it don't matter. It don't matter where her shit was at. She ain't deserve to get treated how she got treated. You know what I'm saying? So it don't even matter. but ladies, make sure you keep your phone and your keys and everything you need on you close. You know what I'm saying? You don't want to be, keep it close. You know what I'm saying? Just in case of anything, keep your phone, your keys, everything close. You know what I'm saying? So in case you gotta go, you can leave and you got everything with you. You know what I'm saying?
Women. He told them he couldn't let anyone into the building without identification or proof that they were a resident. The women told him how concerned they were for her and asked how she would stay safe if he wouldn't let her in. As they continued to talk, another resident of the building opened the door and let Sasha inside. Stephen carried on talking to the other women for a while before eventually heading back into the building to...
Wait, so if he wouldn't let them in to begin with, he allowed another resident to let her in? You know what I'm saying? He stayed talking to them. Why wouldn't he say, hold on, you can't let her in. She can't come in. She ain't got no ID. I don't know if she lives here or not. You know what I'm saying? He didn't say that. He just went in there and let them come in. But he already knowing she ain't got no ID or she ain't got her key or nothing. He already know all that because he met them at the door. So he had to ask, you don't got no ID? Well, where's your key to your apartment? You don't have that either? Well, how you gonna get in? You know what I'm saying? He had to know all that. So for him to let that other, for him to let that person that stayed in the building let her in, that's already a no-no. You know what I'm saying? Because why is you let whoever that was to let her in? You know what I'm saying? Do she know them? You know what I'm saying? Where are they going? You know what I'm saying? She don't have her key or her phone or nothing. So it's like, you know, she damn near really need an ambulance. You know what I'm saying? She need emergency services right now type shit. You know what I'm saying? She don't got her phone or keys. She's intoxicated. She might need emergency services. If she can't come in this building, she might just need to stay in the hospital overnight or something then. Or, you know, it's better off for her to stay in the hospital, maybe in a drunk tank in jail, than her to be just not being able to get in her apartment because she don't have her credentials and everything, and then she's just out and about for the night. You know what I'm saying? And if you don't feel that way, put in the comments. If you don't think that she should not have to, but it was a better option for her to maybe, for them to maybe call emergency services, call, you know what I'm saying, the ambulance. She's just a woman outside right now, walking around, no phone, no keys, no ID. She's drunk. She needs some help to me. So the best way to get her some help is to call, you know what I'm saying, call 911. You know what I'm saying, before anything happens. You know what I'm saying? We know it's a crazy world. You know what I'm saying? These two ladies came across her. She was just drunk walking. So, yeah, they should have just, you know what I'm saying, called 911. Even though 911 might not be the... It's crazy out here, man. 911 will do something to you. Yeah, they'll do something to you, too. But what other option do you have? At least they got cameras and, you know, it's more documented, you know what I'm saying? So, you know, it's a better chance. You better off, you know what I'm saying, in their hands, I guess. You know what I'm saying?
See where Sasha was. Everyone's story matched up, and police still needed footage and witnesses from inside Uptown Place. Sasha's iPad was found in her apartment, and as it shared some data with her...
Wait till these sirens pass, man.
iPhone, police were able to look at her messages. A text had been sent to a man named Ben who had previously dated Sasha. He was supposed to be seeing her that weekend. They had been texting during the night and Ben asked her if she wanted to meet him at another party. But several hours later, at 5:12 a.m, Sasha sent him a text message simply saying, Ben. This appeared to be the last activity on her devices. Ben willingly let the police take a DNA sample, and with that, plus a watertight alibi, he was quickly ruled out. Police also spoke to a man named Taylor who was in a relationship with Sasha for 2 years. They had still spoken regularly, and Taylor said he always thought that one day they might get back together. He was working a shift at a bar that night, which everyone could attest to, and again, through DNA, he was eliminated from the investigation.
Suspicious death of a 27-year-old Orlando woman. Sasha Samsudean's body was found Saturday night inside of her apartment at Uptown Place on North Orange Avenue. Right now, police are not releasing many details, but friends and neighbors say they were stunned to hear about it.
Just a few days after Sasha was found, she was laid to rest in a private ceremony, which blended Hindu, Islamic and Christian practices. One of her co-workers recalled that he always knew she was popular and well-loved, but didn't quite realise the impact she had had on so many people until he saw the turnout at her funeral. The CCTV footage from Uptown Place was always saved off-site, but it was now finally in the hands of the police, and they began going through it with a fine-tooth comb. One camera showed Sasha entering the building at around 1:46 a.m. She was followed inside by an unknown male who asked her if she was all right. She then headed up the stairs and disappeared from view for around 20 minutes. At 2:06 a.m, she was seen running up more stairs. Followed by security guard Stephen. Just as he said, he walked with her to the first floor parking lot at 2:25 a.m. to see if her keys were in her car. But as soon as Sasha said she remembered the code, the pair walked back inside.
This man was walking through with her through the building, acting like he trying to help her get to where she gotta go safely.
Police were still searching to find the unknown male seen with Sasha, but they couldn't see Sasha on any of the other tapes. They appealed to the media and public and asked anyone that had seen Sasha or anyone else around the building after 1:46 a.m. to come forward, but no one did. Investigators continued evaluating the footage to see if they'd missed anyone else coming in or out of Uptown Place in the early hours. And at 6:36 a.m, on one of the cameras, they did find something of interest. A familiar face was seen exiting the second floor of the building, holding 2 trash bags. It was security guard Stephen Duxbury. He walked into the second floor of the parking lot where his car was parked, and returned to the building at 6:38 a.m. Stephen had told officers that his shift had ended at 6 a.m, but he didn't actually leave the building until 6:39 a.m. Initially, police wondered if taking out the trash was part of the security guard's job.
Why you take the trash to his car though? Yeah, that's evidence right there. Yeah. If you took the trash out, why you taking it to the second floor parking lot where your car at? And that's trash.
But it was soon confirmed that it most definitely wasn't. On closer inspection, detectives recognised the trash bags. They had come from inside Sasha's apartment. Following this, police obtained a search warrant for Duxbury's home and asked him to come in for a polygraph test. During the polygraph, he was asked if he had ever set foot inside Sasha's apartment. He answered no, but the polygraph indicated deception. The interviewer then asked him if he knew how Sasha had died. Was she poisoned? He asked. No. Was she stabbed? No. Was she choked? No. But on this question, again, his heart rate shot up and showed signs of deception. Information about how Sasha had been killed had not yet been released to the public, and there was absolutely no way of Stephen knowing that she had been strangled. Although a polygraph test is inadmissible in a courtroom, this definitely gave officers a lot more to look into. In Stephen's home, detectives found a pair of shoes that matched the shoe print found inside Sasha's apartment. And 3 days later, police learned that the thumbprint under the toilet seat matched the right thumb of Stephen Duxbury. The DNA found on Sasha's chest also belonged to him. His phone record showed that a disturbing Google search had been made. He had looked up how to override a quick-set keypad lock, the same lock Sasha had on her apartment door. This internet search had happened at around 5 a.m. that morning, almost 3 hours after Sasha had last been seen on camera, and just a few minutes before Sasha had sent the message to her ex-boyfriend Ben, simply saying his name. Stephen also had a bite mark on his forearm and scratches to his body. It was hard to fathom that the man who had been so helpful with the police and whose job it was to secure the building and protect the residents had been the one to commit this horrific crime.
October 17th, Sasha Samsudean was found murdered in her apartment. Today, our detectives have arrested Stephen Duxbury, the security guard from Uptown Apartments, in connection with this case. Stephen Duxbury is charged with first-degree murder, sexual battery, and burglary to an occupied dwelling. As a security guard, he used his access to prey on someone who was very vulnerable. Our hearts go out to Sasha's family. Our thoughts and prayers are with them. And we hope that this will bring a little bit of closure or start the process of closure for this family.
Police believe that when he saw Sasha come home that morning, he saw it as nothing more than a twisted opportunity. They believed he broke into her apartment.
You're a sick motherfucker.
Before sexually assaulting, attacking, and killing her. He then used her own cleaning products in an attempt to destroy any DNA, before taking things of evidentiary value out of her apartment to his car, where he disposed of them later. His trial began in November 2017, with Judge Lisa T. Munyon presiding. It started with Stephen arguing that as a security officer, he thought he had to cooperate with law enforcement during his questioning, otherwise he would lose his license. And his defense team wanted his initial interviews with the police kept out of the courtroom.
Attorneys saying speculation should not be admitted as evidence, but the state says the motion is untimely and should be struck by the court, especially with the trial right around the corner.
State,
Yes.
how many days do you need?
I would estimate about 5.
Duxbury's attorneys also hinting additional motions could be filed, to which the judge said time is running out.
All right, we'll get them filed because you need to have them heard in front of me before Monday. So I would suggest you get them filed, which means you have them tomorrow.
Away from the start of a murder trial for a former security guard accused of killing a young woman. Jury selection starts tomorrow in Stephen Duxbury's trial. Channel 9's Sara Pubman is live outside the courthouse. And Sara, the defense was given a blow when a judge said key pieces of evidence would not be thrown out.
And that evidence is going to be in. It includes some shoes that were found at the defendant's house, as well as some statements he made during a polygraph test. And earlier today, I was talking to our legal analyst, and he explains just how big of a deal this is. Stephen Duxbury's defense fought to keep statements their client made during a polygraph test, as well as these shoes reportedly found at his home that allegedly match marks at Sasha Samsudean's apartment, out of court. But the judge says they're in. Channel 9 legal analyst Bill Schaefer.
A circumstantial evidence case is like a puzzle. You have to get all of those pieces of that puzzle into evidence so that you can show this defendant is guilty of what you charged him with.
During the trial, Schaefer says we can expect the defense will try to get more puzzle pieces thrown out.
Once jury selection begins, it's too late to make motions to exclude evidence. However, the defense during the trial will raise objections as that evidence comes in.
Duxbury is accused of raping and killing Samsudean back in 2015.
Defendant's statement that he was never in that apartment is inconsistent with forensic evidence. That could be key to the state's case.
Duxbury's attorney, Aaron Delgado, argued that the investigation left too many unanswered questions. Among them was not testing Stephen's clothing for DNA. They also said that the shoe prints attributed to Stephen inside Sasha's apartment appeared to match a size 9 shoe found in his apartment, when he said he wore a size 10.5. His legal team also argued that there was no surveillance footage that placed Duxbury in her apartment or showed him entering it. But the prosecution said that although the case was largely circumstantial, it didn't make it any less strong. DNA puts him inside her apartment, even though video footage didn't. This, alongside the Google searches and the removing of the trash bags, was again enough to show they didn't need CCTV to prove Duxbury was in that apartment. When asked about the abrasions to her inner thigh area and lower body, the medical examiner said that it was definitely a possibility that the marks could have been made by a utility or security belt during intercourse. The defence even made the suggestion that another person could have broken in and committed the murder after Sasha and Stephen had consensual sex. But prosecutor William J. simply said, "Her body doesn't tell lies. The scene doesn't tell lies."
Man, it's crazy how, I know it's their job as defense attorneys to come up with these other narratives and shit, but, like, come on, man.
Following a 7-day trial and just 4 hours of deliberations, Stephen Duxbury was handed a life sentence without the possibility of parole for the murder of Sasha Samsudean. He was sentenced to a further 15 years for attempted sexual battery with a deadly weapon or force, and burglary with assault or battery. Circuit Judge Lisa T. Munyon ordered the sentences should run consecutively. Stephen declined to speak when the judge gave him the opportunity after the verdict. Sasha Samsudean's parents both expressed their sympathy for Duxbury's mother, who sat through the trial in the back row of the courtroom. They acknowledged that his parents had now lost their child too. Sasha's mother Tara also expressed her anger at how the defence team had tried to represent her daughter's character in the courtroom. Tara said, "I won't have birthdays. Her father will never get to walk her down the aisle. I've attended a lot of weddings since then, and every wedding I attend, I know we will never have that for my daughter." Sasha Samsudean's family has a pending lawsuit against the apartment complex that employed Stephen Duxbury and the security company Spectrum Brands, which manufactured the lock on Sasha's door. The 102-page lawsuit alleges that the apartment complex and Vital Security, which employed Duxbury, ignored other residents' complaints that they felt harassed by Stephen. The Samsudean's attorney is also trying to convince a judge that the lock on Sasha's downtown Orlando apartment was defective, and that's possibly how Stephen got inside. At a hearing, attorney Samantha Duke, representing Spectrum Brands, said there was no way to know for sure because the lock was never collected as evidence by the Orlando police, and it was thrown away by the owner of the unit when a new tenant moved in.
Without that product, it's impossible for plaintiff to prove that any defect with the subject lock was the cause of Sasha Samsudean's death.
The Samsudean's attorney fired back, saying that Spectrum Brands knew its product was defective, citing an article that describes how someone could beat the lock in a matter of seconds with something as simple as a screwdriver.
They were aware of their defect, and they could have said something to the police, but naturally they wouldn't want to say, "Hey, just so you know, that design, we know that millions of these are easily broken into, so you might want to save that."
In February 2019, Stephen filed an appeal, claiming that the court had made a mistake in denying his motion to suppress his post-Miranda statements and in denying his motion for acquittal on the attempted sexual battery charge. This appeal was denied. Ken and Tara Samsudean worked to honour their daughter's legacy by working with the Orange County Sheriff's Office to help other families deal with the grief that comes with being a victim.
It hurts. It hurts a whole lot.
More than 2 years after their daughter was killed, Tara and Ken Samsudean still deal with the grief.
Sometimes you don't know what you don't know.
Now the couple is honoring their daughter's legacy by working alongside the Orange County Sheriff's Office.
Someone to hold your hands, someone to guide you through the system.
For Tara Samsudean, she struggled to work as a trauma nurse after the death of her daughter. Instead, she's helping people like those at this annual Victims' Rights Breakfast.
We help ourselves by telling our stories.
Man, this shit fucked up, man. You know what I'm saying? See, shit like this affects her family for the rest of their lives. They can't even. She couldn't even go on with her job. Like all because of this sick pervert. So we're gonna watch it. We're gonna watch a little bit of his interrogation. Matter of fact, they got his polygraph on him. So we're gonna see what they was asking him during his polygraph testing. This is wild, man. Security guard supposed to be the one who makes sure everybody safe in the building.
Sorry, what? I work night shift, and normally I'm sleeping right now because I'm going to work at about, tonight I was supposed to be home at 11 o'clock. I'm normally sleeping right now because I usually give myself about an hour and a half or so to get to work. Where are you staying? I live in Port Orange, but I work, that's the trip. Never mind. Honestly, the new post that they put out is much better. I used to do security over at Northbridge, over on Millennium Boulevard. And I'm very glad that the one over at Uptown Place opened up. The guy there gave us 2 weeks, and my boss was like, well, I want you over there. Well, must be because you do a good job. That's what he tells me, and that's what I try to do. I mean, I've gotten emails since the property manager from Resident telling me what a great job I'm doing. I've actually been given one of our small little blurbs that one was sent to me. Nice. The property manager loves me to death, I guess. My bosses have all been really happy. They actually authorized an additional raise to keep me because I was actually going to terminate my employment with this company at the beginning of this month because I just couldn't afford to keep driving out there. And they wanted to keep me so much that they actually gave me another raise to help.
He wanted to terminate his employment. I bet you did.
Offset the gas costs and everything. Cool. Yeah. All right. First and foremost, let's get through all the preliminary stuff, and then I'll tell you a little bit about myself and what we're doing. Because I've heard of polygraphs. You see it all on TV and stuff like that, but I'm not really sure exactly how this all works. I'll explain it also. What I need you to do is print your name here, read all this out loud to me. This is your consent to take a polygraph here today. From what I understand, you're on an appointment. I guess you made an appointment with the detectives to come down for this polygraph. Well, they made the appointment for me. They asked me if I was going to come in yesterday, and I said, yes. Okay. So I'm just saying you're not under arrest or anything, right? Yeah, no. You're just a witness that they're just trying to vindicate everybody and follow, Yep. Okay. Because I don't know too much about it. I asked you a little bit, see what you know about it, and it should be pretty quick. I know a little bit more, but only from what the news is putting out there because I've been trying to keep track and find out what's going on. Well, we all know that we can't. Yeah. Well, we all know we can't. Anyway, they've already tried flagging me down once at work, and I'm like, I'm going to keep walking this way and go inside. Yeah. Because I am not talking to you vultures. So go ahead and put your name here. Read this out loud to me.
Beta vultures, huh?
Really? What is that? Do you want my full middle name too, or just the middle initial? Middle initial is fine. Okay. I, Stephen Michael Larkspur, acknowledge that I'm fully aware of my constitutional rights to reverse, and I do hereby request voluntarily, without duress, coercion, threat, promise of reward, or immunity that a polygraph examination, truth verification / lie detector test be administered to me. I further consent to any electronic recording of the entire polygraph procedure, including but not limited to videotaping. After having the examination process explained to me and having been advised of the requirements and processes involved in the polygraph test, I do hereby request the necessary attachments to be placed on my person, and I do hereby consent to everything that is necessary to be done and to be spoken in order to effectuate this request. New word. I understand that conditions such as hypertension, pregnancy, respiratory, or heart ailments, and any medication that I am taking may affect the results of the polygraph examination. I understand that the examination itself may be stressful and that I may
They making this man read all this shit. He knowing he did the crime and he still decided to come and do this shit. So he thought he was gonna be able to beat the lie detector test.
Consult with a physician prior to this polygraph examination to determine if it is suitable for me to be tested. To the best of my knowledge, I have no physical or mental condition that will adversely affect my taking the examination today or cause adverse results during the interview/examination. I do hereby release and forever hold harmless the examiner, the agents, and or employees of the Orlando Police Department and the City of Orlando. I further agree that the results of this examination may be made available to the proper authorities and released by the examiner as deemed necessary. Okay, so you can send that. You just sign here, date it there. Should have made that appointment with the doctor. Why was it? Well, I've been under a lot of stress lately because I'm moving. I've got a wedding coming up. This whole situation happening. I mean, I'm going to help. We'll get this behind you. I mean, it's just, it's right here. Yep. Yeah, it's just going to deal with any deaths other than, my stepsister dying a couple years back, other than when I was in Afghanistan. And that was not a fun time for me. It's the 22nd? It is. So it's just now, did you give sworn statements and all that stuff? When I went the night that all the police officers were there, I did fill out statements. Okay, when you talk to the detectives here, they read you your rights or anything like that? They have not. Okay, and this is the same form we use for even employment. We make sure that everyone's fully aware of what their rights are before we even get started. It's just a procedure that we use here, and that's why it's on the back of the consent form. So what you need to do is read each one out loud, and if you understand it, put your initials there and answer these last two questions. If you have a question about any of them, stop me and ask me. I will explain it to you until you understand. All right, it's just important for me to know that you know what your rights are. Doesn't mean you're under arrest or anything. It just means we're going to be talking about a criminal case. I'm sorry, you got to read them out loud. No, is that sure that you? Okay, you have the right to remain silent. Initial. Anything I say may be used against me in court. Initial. I have the right to talk to a lawyer before and during the questioning. Initials. If I can.
This man coming in here like he ain't did shit wrong. Like he coming in here like he knowing he gonna get away with this shit or something. Like the way he talking and sounding, it's like he really sick in the fucking head for real. Like he really is sick in his fucking head.
Not afford a lawyer in one will be provided for me before questioning without charge. Initials. Has anyone threatened me or promised?
Sick in his head, bro. This man just did what he did, and he can come in here and talk and be able to act normal and all this shit. With the police, knowing they on your ass for this shit. You gotta be sick in your fucking head, man. You gotta be. So how did he end up being hired as a security guard, man? He's not a normal character.
Anything to get me to talk to you? No, they have not. Do I understand these rights and do I wish to continue the interview at this time? Yes. And date.
Man, it's like, it's sad as hell how one person like can just ruin so many lives. Like just by one person's actions can ruin so many lives.
And level of education, and I'm in college now.
So be careful what you do out there, man, because your actions not only ruin your life and the person that you, whoever that feels some type of way about your actions, but that can also have a trickle effect and a ripple effect, and fuck with other motherfuckers' lives. People that's not even born yet.
College, yeah, you put some college, that's fine. So what I need to do now is just get a little information from you. You have your driver's license, just make sure you are who you say you are. That's what I was Sometimes I don't feel like myself, but that's just how I think. Yeah. All right. You're in the Marines? I was. I was Air Force. All right. All right, come on, make fun of me now. Come on, I'm waiting. Nah, just kidding. To me, I look at the whole rivalry between the service branches as just brotherly love. It is. It's just, we're just jealous.
He trying to come on, make fun of me now. Like, this man weird, bro. Like, this man. He really think he finna be able to talk all this shit and sit like everything's smooth and do a lie detector test? You think you finna look past that shit? You must have looked at home and looked up how to pass lie detector tests and think, cause you done did that shit, you finna be able to beat this shit or something.
Did you get all the nice dinners and nice places to stay? Yeah, actually, to be honest, I was actually a little disgusted when I found out that if, like, I had been stationed at any other base than an Air Force base, I would have been getting paid extra for living in substandard conditions. To me, I found that to be inappropriate. If me living in the same conditions that an Army or a Marine or, you know, a soldier or a Marine would be living in is considered substandard, that's an insult to you guys. We're used to it. Yeah, we start from day one like that. Yeah, no. Really? Your friend's kind of pompous like that. All right. Your nickname.
This man served in the Air Force. You know what I'm saying? That's another thing, bro. This man served in the Air Force. Like, bro, that shit wow, bro. He served in the Air Force, you know what I'm saying? So he's you know, like he's that all American guy, right? Served in the Air Force, served his country. You know what I'm saying? Now he's a security guard. So he's trying to do some more serving. But no, that wasn't who he was the whole time. The whole time he was just a sick individual trying to feed his own sick whatever shit in his head. You know what I'm saying? Whether it's to kill or whatever. He wanted to feed that sick shit in his head. That's probably why he joined the military, Navy or Army or whatever he did. Because he wanted to feed that shit that he thought he probably was going to be able to just kill, and he wanted to just be able to do that shit and get away with it. But he couldn't do that shit. You know what I'm saying? So he ended up coming home, you know what I'm saying? And that shit still was in him. And he ended up, yeah, doing what he did. You know what I'm saying? Because, like I said, he's sick in his head, for real. Really sick in his fucking head. And he know he's sick in his head. And he should have got that shit dealt with before it came to this. Because he know he's sick in his fucking head. He know he know the type of, for him to do what he did, that mean he had to have some type of thoughts in his head. So he know when some thoughts was coming in his head, he should have dealt with that shit. But he let this shit happen. You know what I'm saying? And now he's affecting motherfuckers' lives, everybody's life, even the motherfuckers who come across this crime. You know what I'm saying? It's affecting everybody's life. It's gonna affect your life when you figure out what happened with this young lady. You know what I'm saying? For real.
What do they call it? I've got a couple, but Steve or Ducks, DUX.
This man was supposed to be her security guard in her building. She come in one night drunk. She having a hard time getting into her apartment. She done lost her keys and her phone. Basically, you know, he ended up killing her, man. You know what I'm saying? He ended up killing her security guard, you know what I'm saying? Her name was Sasha Samsudean, you know what I'm saying? You can look her up if you want to figure out, you know, the details of the case or whatever. But yeah, security guard Stephen Duxbury, you know what I'm saying, who was supposed to be there to make sure everybody in the building safe and sound. He the one who was the you know what I'm saying, the motherfucking who was there to terrorize and destroy. You know what I'm saying? He supposed to be making sure the building's safe, but the whole time he's the motherfucker, the devil lurking. You know what I'm saying? Right now, what they doing is they doing a lie detector test on him. So they finna ask him some questions and, you know, figure out what he telling the truth about and what he lying about. You know what I'm saying? But we already know he guilty. So I just want to take a little peek in on his lie detector test. And me doing it, I'm glad I did that because now I can just see how he acted. He's a very sick individual. Because for him to come into this lie detector room and come to this police station, knowing what he's guilty of, and him just be acting like nothing's going on and just all nonchalant, like he ain't got nothing to worry about, not a care in the world. Like, come on, man, you sick, man, you sick, bro.
Any scars, marks, or tattoos? Yes.
And this is a sickness that could have been treated before you did what you did, but after you did what you did, now you gotta be punished. You know what I'm saying? You gotta be punished and put up. You know what I'm saying? And you're gonna be judged by God at the end of the day. But you gotta be punished and you gotta be put up from society because you obviously can't. You know, yeah, you can't. You know, or you will get ate up. You know what I'm saying? Because if you would die anyway in society. Once people find out what you done did, yeah, you gonna die quick anyway. So it's best for you to go to jail so you would be a little more safer because, yeah, you ain't gonna last out here doing, yeah, you would be dead the next day. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, you would be dead the next day. So it's best you know, did what's coming in jail. You gonna have to deal with some shit in that too, but best believe, man, people out here in this world ain't damn. We don't like that type of activity, man. You know what I'm saying? So.
No tattoos, multiple scars. Okay. Most recent ones were from getting stabbed multiple times. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, my wife's ex-boyfriend the morning after I proposed to her. Interesting. Yeah, this is the worst of them. Yeah, he tried to stab me in the throat, and that's when I decided not to grab it. And well, you have to finish so. Exactly. All right, your date of birth is April 25th, 1982.
All normal and sweet.
And your place of birth is Nashua, New Hampshire. Okay. Yeah. I mean, that's what you said there, though. Well, Pittsburgh, New Hampshire is actually where I've been living for a while now. Oh my God, I miss it. So you just moved back down from there? Well, I got out of the Air Force not this past September, but September of 2014. Mm-hmm. And my wife and I were supposed to be getting a house from my mother-in-law. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, bro. Like, man, like this man, I ain't really gonna watch this shit too much longer because it's just the fact that like he's able to do this shit. It's like, it's people that's among us that's we know who the weirdos is, man.
Now, unfortunately, that fell through, so we got an apartment down here. Oh, excuse me. But we're actually getting the house.
Everybody knows people that's some weirdos. You know what I'm saying? That's weirdos, like, but we don't hang around them. We don't be around them. They weird. You know what I'm saying? They say certain shit that expose them. You know what I'm saying? They do certain shit. You know what I'm saying? That you question it, look at like, whoa, that. You know what I'm saying? And yeah.
The 1st of November. So, oh, cool. Yeah, and I just figured, it would be less expensive than trying to move up to New Hampshire where job opportunities are kind of nil and void. Whereas down here, at least from what the research I've done before getting out, there was a better job opportunity for me, or job opportunities as a former military. And sadly, that didn't prove to be the case. It took me 6 months to get a friggin' job. Wow. Yeah, it sucks. I actually got my job with a security company through one of my professors. I was a criminal justice major. Right, so what are you majoring in now? Programming and analysis. But it's kind of a long-termish plan because I'm focusing that. I'm going to use my electives to get a whole bunch of cybersecurity and cyber forensics degree stuff, so I can just roll it all into a cyber forensics. Cool. Computers are my thing. Well, that's what's going on these days. Tell me about it. Your height is about 6 foot. Okay. And your weight? who haven't weighed myself recently. I'm going to say between 220, 230. Okay, so I'm going to do 225. How about that? That sounds good. Hair's brown. No. What color is your hair? Red. It's actually red. Red. Okay. Well, it's actually a combination of red, brown, and blonde. It all depends on how much sun I get. Okay. And your eyes are brown. Brown. Okay. Your home address is 1645 Dunlawton Avenue, apartments 1123, Port Orange, Florida. What's the apartment number, sorry? 1123, sorry. In Port Orange, wow. Yeah. I really don't drive down here, but where I'm from originally, that's the normal drive to get to the grocery store. Yeah. So, and the zip code is 32127. Although, like I said, that address is actually going to change in November, but if this is still going on by then, I will obviously be contacting the detectives and giving them the new update. Yeah, this is just...
He trying to quit his job, move, and all that. He's talking about some the address gonna change, but if this still going on, I'm gonna let y'all know where I'm gonna be at. And all. Man, your ass going to jail.
For my background, you contact them. That's what they do. I just, this is all I do. So you're the polygraph guy. I'm the polygraph guy. And your phone number is 228-365-2971. That's my cell phone. Okay. And you work for Vital Security and Investigations. I think I have one of their cards in the wallet. Let me check. Nope, just my social. You should stop carrying that with me. Yes, you should. Shouldn't have that on you. Actually, I think the reason why I was carrying it on me was because I needed it for something. I just forgot to take it back out of my wallet. And so, anyway, that's my employee ID. Okay. And I believe the name of the company president's on there, Todd Rogers. Right. Cool. And you have a work number? Not well. I've got a site phone, like a dispatch or something. I know. I just work one site, and I'm the only officer right now that works that site. So I just carry a site phone on me when I'm on duty, and if the residents have a problem or the police need to get a hold of me, they just call out and I answer. Okay. So not really, unfortunately. And you said you're engaged. No, I am married. Okay, you're married. Was engaged about 3 years ago. Okay, well, I had longer than that.
This nigga married?
How long have you been married? I've been married for almost 3 years now. I was married in 2013. Okay. And your spouse's name? Gravina, Gravina, Darguzis, Darguizis. Actually waiting to change the last name when we actually have a family ceremony. We got married. Well, no, her full name is Gravina Sabina Soifong Darguzis. And what nationality is that? She is half Czechoslovakian. She is half Chinese, half Lithuanian. Her mother's from Singapore. Oh wow! Yeah. Interesting. Yep. Yeah, we got married the month before I deployed to Afghanistan. We just did the courthouse thing, and then this coming February, we actually did the big ceremony for all the family. Because then with everything going on, with my military career, with force reduction, which is why I ended up having to get out, and then moving and everything like that. We just took forever for us to get this off the ground. But finally, it's like, yes, we got the date, we've got everything set up, she's got the dress, I mean, it's looking good. The only thing she told me is that I better fit into my Blues uniform. Children? None yet. Okay. Although, I don't know, cats, do they count? No. What high school you graduate from? Pittsburgh High School. Pittsburg. No H. Alright, and you're crying.
I'm gonna fast forward a little bit, see if they got that test hooked up.
That's a situation that...
You know what I'm saying? Because I want to hear what type of questions they gonna ask him for real, though. I ain't gonna do what I want to hear. I want to hear what type of questions they gonna ask him. almost there. I don't want to miss nothing, so. All right, here we go.
Relaxation, your fingers. And lastly, I'll do the cardio because I don't want that on there for a long period of time. All done. All right. Give me 1 second. Gotta put your information there so it starts a file for you. That looks good. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put some pressure in your cuff. Okay. And I'm gonna put it to a certain pressure, and then I'm gonna ask you here in a second. Right now, what I need you to do is make a fist with your left hand, squeeze your whole arm. Okay, now relax. And do it one more time. And relax. All the way, relax. And I'm gonna take the pressure off a little bit. What that does is it takes the extra air pockets out of the cuff so I get a nice clean tracing. Nice. All right. You ready to do this number test here? Yes. All right, perfect. All right, the test is about to begin. Please remain completely still and answer each question with a simple yes or no. Regarding the number you circled on that piece of paper, did you circle number 92? No. Did you circle number 93? No. Did you circle number 94? No. Did you circle number 95? No. Alright, the test is almost complete. Please remain completely still when I take the instrument out of operation. So I'm really thinking on the last one, I figured it was kind of like the 95 that you wanted me to say no. Oh, you did fine. Awesome. Well, definitely the polygraph is a good tool for you. You're definitely a capable reactor. I can see it. It works well. So this will be all right. Question for you though. Yes. What is your normal heart rate? I have no idea why. Is it high? Yeah. High. Yeah, I've been noticing was it like 130 or 140 or something like that? Yeah, it was like 138. Yeah, that's what they were getting towards the end of my career in the military. You know, when I went to the DA, it was kind of high. For a resting heart rate? Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, the last couple of years I was on a profile because of the rhabdo thing because they kept trying to test me. They were contemplating doing a med so kind of out of shape. It's okay. I was just curious because when I saw it that high, I'm like, whoa. Yeah. Making sure there wasn't any medical issue there. No, well, I also noticed when I'm tired, my heart rate seems to be pretty high also for some weird ass reason. I'm tired. Okay. So the first kind of test we're going to do is, it's kind of like a weird test. It's called, it's basically to find out if you have any knowledge as to how Sasha ended up being deceased. Okay, so I'm going to ask you very specific questions. Okay. All right. So just like we went over the numbers question, I'm going to go over the questions before the test. Okay. Okay. These are going to be very simple and straight to the point. Okay. It's going to basically this is how it's going to go. Do you know if Sasha was poisoned? No, do you want me to answer these now? No. Was she shot with a 22? No. Was she stabbed? No. Was she choked? No. Was she shot with a 38? No. Was she hit with a hammer? No. Was she hit with a chair? No. Okay. Plain and simple. Okay.
Why would he say no? He ain't. Shouldn't he say I don't know? I don't know. I don't know. Cause you saying no, that means you got a yes in there too. You know what I'm saying? But we already know he guilty though.
All right. I'm good. All right. I can feel my heart beating on this thing. That's okay. And actually, let me change this cuff and let you roll your sleeve up. Okay. Just for better tracing. Let you roll your sleeve up.
He said he want better tracing.
That's not contagious.
At first he was saying, "Oh, you get good tracing."
I don't worry about like
look, him asking him the first set of questions, and the way he answered them, he knowing he got them. So he like, okay, I'm gonna raise that sleeve up so he can make sure there ain't none your lawyer can say none of that. You know what I'm saying?
That's every person. Yes, I did. Oh. All right. All right. So as far as the pressure on your cuff, I'm gonna bring it back a little bit. I was noticing actually even one of my fingers was raised. Yeah. I'll back it up just a little bit because I was getting a really good tracing, but since I pulled your shirt up and got bare skin, I can back it up a little bit. So you just let me know when your hand feels good enough and we'll get started. Okay. You're good to go? Oh, okay. Oh, sorry. I don't want to say good enough. I meant like as you were flying. All right, squeeze a couple times for me like we practice. Perfect, really. And do it one more time. And relax. right, you're ready to go. Mm-hmm. All right, the test is about to begin. Please remain completely still and answer each question with a simple yes or no. Do you know if Sasha was poisoned? No. Was shot with a 22? No. Was stabbed? No. Was choked? No. Was shot with a 38? No. Was hit with a hammer? No. Was hit with a chair? No. All right, the test is almost complete. Please remain completely still while I take the instrument out of operation. Relax. I do not like having a vivid imagination of what I do. What do you mean? Everything you said, I should just picture happening to it. Well, we don't know if it was any of them. I know, but I'm asking specifically if you know. I know. This animal's a security guard for the building. Supposed to go there. Keep everything secure, make sure things don't happen. Well, you know what? You can't be everywhere at once. Let's even look at it. We're being very specific here. All right, I'm sorry. It's okay. I get it, but it's very important for you to focus on the task at hand, okay? Yes. I'm asking you very specifically, did you know something? Mm-hmm. No, I don't. And so, as I'm asking you, yeah, don't think, just answer. Yep. And answer honestly. Okay. Yes, sir. That's the important thing. Yeah. Sorry, I have to go to this one. All right, well, let me know when you're ready to go. We'll go do this again. All right? Okay. So we got that out of the way. Now, I want to go through some questions on this next test. Okay. All right. Now, this is all specific as far as the incident at Uptown. Okay. And it's more directed to make sure that you had no involvement in anything that may have happened to Sasha. All right. Okay. So these questions should be very specific for you, and you should have no problem answering these questions. Okay. All right. Because what we talked about, I did, after we talked, I jotted down some questions. So here are the questions I'm going to ask you about that night. Okay. Okay. Yep. Did you enter Sasha's apartment that night? No. Okay. Do you know who caused Sasha's death? No. Did you cause Sasha's death? No. Did you remove any items from Sasha's apartment? No. Okay. Very straightforward, right? Yep. Okay. Now, some of the questions are kind of about you. It's about your character. Whether or not you're the kind of person that would do something like this if it was something that, if something was to happen to her by somebody else, that you weren't the kind of person that would do that. And, the FBI has done all these profiling and they did all this research and interviewed and did all these studies as far as people who would do something like this would do other things, okay? And based on that, I've come up with some questions as far as to make sure that you're not that kind of person. Okay, so if I was to ask you, before last year, did you ever threaten anyone with physical harm? Not one? Does joking count? I mean, we're talking serious. Actual. Okay. Sorry, because did anyone piss you off so much that you threatened them with physical harm? You're not that kind of person, right? No. You'd have to do something to actually provoke me to that level. Right. So, no. Perfect. So, my friends have a joke like that all the time. No, we're not talking joking. We're talking actual. Threaten and mean to do it. Exactly. Okay, gotcha. All right. Prior to 2006, were you ever so angry with someone that you wanted to hurt them? Yes. Okay. What was that incident about? Someone's knocking at the door. That was my foot. Oh, okay. Sorry. What incident comes to mind? The uncle that raped me when I was 9 years old. Okay, so you didn't tell me about that. No, but I didn't ask, but yeah. Yeah, no. Yeah. Okay. Not something I'm proud of, but yeah, not someone I really just sleep over something bad happened to them.
So, yeah, man, this guy's a sicko, man. And like I said, man, I post these type of videos to show y'all need to be aware of everybody and all your surroundings, man. Because it's fucking serious out here. Like, subscribe, do all that YouTube shit, man.